Here we go. Okay, Bill, I'm just getting ready to leave you another text message.
Hey guys, there you go. Good. I'm looking for Rihanna. I'm looking for Alex still. That's what I'm looking for now.
I'm getting a lot of screeching sound.
And then I'll be quiet. Sorry, you don't get to hear from me again, but welcome everybody. Welcome back. Some of you I know it's late, some people it's early, some it's the middle of the day.
Greg?
Yes.
We're going to bring this stream over in about 2, 4, 5 minutes. This screen will show up on everybody else's Zoom screen. Does that make sense? All I'm waiting for is Rihanna, and I'm waiting for Alec.
Okay.
Okay, so hey, I am on both this one and the other one.
Yeah, so make sure that you do not have your sound on the other one.
Yeah, I don't. yeah, that would be kind of not nice.
Same thing, Greg. Make sure you don't get your sound on the other one. If you're in the Zoom too, that's okay. But they're going to see you on this Zoom screen after Michael keeps letting people get on the main Zoom. So
no,
Michael,
I'm only on this one. I'm not on Zoom.
Okay. You can do both if you want. Doesn't matter.
Okay, I don't want to run the risk of having something go astray at this point.
If you just open on the screen, you'll just be able to see. That's all. You'll have the screen sitting there. It's not a big deal. Just make sure that you mute yourself and you take your video off the Zoom. That's all.
Okay.
They're going to see
one camera on this one and the camera on the other one.
This is the way you can combine both. Does that make sense? It's a cool way to do this.
So I assume my voice is coming across okay?
You're super good right now.
Okay, thank you. That's what she said. We're not live, right?
I love this. Everybody gets on there smiling, ready to go.
I'm just trying to find Rihanna, so if you guys can get Rihanna, that'd be great. It's the only person I'm missing from the panel. Michael, how are we doing over there?
You're still alive. There's no reason not to be happy. That's right. Oh, I like that. That's exactly.
Michael, how are we doing over there? Good?
We're doing perfect over here. Just people are still climbing on. We're
Good.
waiting for Greg to get on. He kicks off.
Good.
He said he's waiting for Greg to get on, I heard him say.
It's a different line. It's okay.
Okay.
How are you? I'm good. How are you, my friend? Good.
So, Arthur, you got to make sure that you're going to be opening the Zoom first to bring me on.
Sorry, I missed you guys last night.
Arthur, you got that?
Wait, sorry. I'm supposed to do what here?
Yeah,
You're going to introduce me on the Global Gurus before the panel.
Hang on. Let me just turn off the sound on this.
So just mute this one.
Got nominated.
Just a second. Let me mute. Where am I? Hang on. How do I do that? Okay. All right. So, Bill, I am introducing you.
Yeah, you're going to kind of open up this day. Remember, that was our plan? You're going to open up.
I'm the one opening up the day.
Oh, great. You're opening up. I'm sorry. You're opening up. Sorry, Greg. Then you'll have to be another one.
Hey, Chester.
I have to be on the what other one?
Yeah, thanks. 37 years in counting.
That's
Bill?
amazing.
Yes.
I have to be on Zoom?
You got to be on the Zoom for that, yes.
Oh, Jesus. Let me just jump over there real fast.
Yeah, just open a new screen.
Okay.
42 for me, Chester.
Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Go to Zoom. Oh, go to the Zoom link that you sent out yesterday, right?
Yeah, just the Power Team Global, and it should be easy to log right through.
Okay. Power Team Global. Okay. Okay, I'm getting over there. Give me a moment.
Who is that?
Well,
Yeah. That's great. Congratulations. How you doing?
I'm awesome. How you doing, John?
Good to meet you, man. Hey, brother, how you doing?
Power Team Global. Come on.
Jonathan Lowe.
Great, John. Great to see you.
You too, Brenda. You too. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Jonathan.
Hey, Greg, if you're not sure, we can have Arthur do it.
Okay, just Power Team Mobile, right?
Power, whatever it is, Zoom, whatever it is, Power Team Global. If not, Arthur, if you're there, why don't you just open it up? It's okay.
All right. Okay. So are we starting now?
We're starting about 1 minute, so you'll kind of speak for a few minutes, maybe a little reflection from yesterday, and you're going to bring me on at about 4 or 5 minutes after the hour.
Just went around.
So, Bill,
right.
can Arthur do the lead-in and then have Arthur just bring you in on that Zoom screen on his Zoom
That's what I'm gonna
screen?
do. I'll be on the Zoom screen already.
Okay,
Say hi,
so
how are you?
so Arthur.
Hi, Brent.
I see you now. You're there. I got you. I see you.
They just talked about how
You're
amazing
there.
it works with 30 minutes.
Thanks. Yep, perfect.
Glad I was offline.
It's all recorded.
Okay, I'm confused. I'm
Hey,
confused.
Rihanna.
Hey.
So, guys, everybody that's here on the stream side, I'm going to bring you into this. I'm going to bring you into the Zoom right now. Okay.
Starting tonight, we forgot about that 12-hour.
Okay, so who's okay? So since you're taking us all over
You'll
there,
all be quiet here as Arthur kicks it off. So hang on a second, guys. Let me bring you into this. Let me bring you into the Zoom.
Well, Tana actually gave the EST times, otherwise they would never have them. So it's all awesome.
Yes. I'm guilty too.
Yes, all right.
Something happened to me. I could not. I thought it was today.
Me too.
Okay, we ready?
That's tomorrow as well.
Got it. It's good to see you all.
Hey,
I'm doing well. How are you, John?
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Gosh, I
Wow.
wish we were together in person.
Next time, kid.
You got it.
Hey, Joe Peachy, how you doing? Great. Thanks for accepting my LinkedIn today. You too. Yeah, thanks for the note. I appreciate that. Arthur, how you doing?
Oh, hey, there we are. Doing awesome.
Dawn. That helps. Oh, that's. I don't know why that came up, except I'm on her computer. It was my real name until you did whatever you did, but that's okay. My wife and I have been together 49 years. Nice. And we actually,
You look like it's Dawn.
our business is actually Peachy and Peachy. That's great. Okay.
So what did you all do last night that we missed you? What did we miss? Catch us up.
Introductions. We just did introductions. It was great.
We just all told a little story
right, so-
about how we started or how we came to do what we're doing. So it was good. Really interesting stories, I thought.
That's pretty much what we did in Toronto last year when it was
Yeah.
started.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna start.
I'm gonna really get my glasses.
Okay, everyone can hear me?
I did check out your video. Well done.
Bill, you there? Can you hear me?
Yep, I'm here, buddy.
Okay, can they hear me?
Yes.
Everybody can hear you.
Coming up.
Everybody can hear me?
Yep, can hear you. Can everyone
All
see you?
right, awesome. Okay, so today is another totally awesome day because we are, like together again. And yesterday was absolutely amazing. I mean, for me, learning
You're doing it. It's all you.
secret stuff that everybody has been doing and everybody's been coming up with has been truly inspirational. It's just so cool to have people that are authentic. Marshall, if you're still there somewhere, I mean, Marshall, you are truly an inspiration to all of us. And today we're going to be starting with a panel, and I just want to just quickly go through some of the people that have really been making this happen. Bill Walsh, who is the technical maven and the ideas man. I mean, really, Bill has been a leader in making.
Yeah, because
all
I
of
can't
this
share the screen for some reason.
Doing some amazing stuff. Rhiannon also, Greg, Jonathan Lau, not Lau,
J-Lo.
not J-Lo, Zhao Lau. Okay,
Yeah, but
and of course Ron
for something.
Kaufman and
That's me, but not the
Mark
screen.
Thompson have all been instrumental in really making this happen.
wonder
And
why I
so I
don't
just
see
want
that
to say
then.
thank
I
you.
don't
I'm
see it.
so honored to be part of this team. And now Bill is going to be
How do I get rid of
taking
that?
the panel for today. Okay, and Bill is part
Why
of
don't
the
you walk into it?
Power Up team who does literally thousands of programs across the United
They
States.
tell you not to mute.
Hundreds of thousands of speakers and hundreds of thousands of people attending the program. Bill is the ultimate kind of kingmaker when it comes to supporting gurus and supporting speakers around the U.S. So anything, okay, so Bill, take it away.
First of all, how's everyone doing?
Oh, we lost him. We lose Bill? We lost you, Bill. Start again.
Hang on a second, guys. I'll be there. How's everybody doing, first of all?
All right, doing well, thank you.
I hope you guys all enjoyed day one, getting to share some great stories. I think that it was really quite an exceptional day, and if you didn't learn things about everybody, then you missed a great awakening. And first of all, can you guys see everybody on the screen?
No, I can't.
No, on the people on the Zoom. On the people on the Zoom, can you see the folks that are on the stream?
On the panel.
I can see some.
Okay, so you can see the panel, or you can't see the panel.
There should be 5. You should see 5 people.
I see 5 people.
Okay, they do.
If you guys can see 5 and can hear us okay, then we should be good. Rihanna, they'll hear you when you talk because you're all live. And I just want to let you know that we just finished the day with about 400 folks on a global summit, right, for 8 hours or 9 hours before this event. So we've had a pretty crazy day. And for most of you that don't know, we invest in startups. We do about 400 live events a year for entrepreneurs. That all changed in March. Now went to about 0 live events to about 300 digital events a year. And so today we're combining a bit of StreamYard with some Zoom, and to bring you a panel today to talk really about how to survive and thrive in today's new economy. And there's no doubt that it is a new economy. And if you're not moving towards where this is going, you're going to be left behind. If you haven't taken the knock upside the head that we're going to be in a digital world for quite a while, and especially for speakers and trainers and coaches, this is the greatest time ever to build big lists. This is the perfect time to create amazing content and be able to bring that to market. And so today we have an amazing panel for you. First of all, Greg Williams, who's obviously a double award winner and just someone that is a brilliant negotiator. I don't know about his whole drug dealing story yesterday. That kind of threw a little loop into the package. But hey, listen, man, I love the guy and he's doing great stuff. He'll be on the panel. Arthur Kamazi, of course, I met through Global Gurus. And I actually have nicknamed him called the Wizard because he's always seems like he's got something magical going on. Anytime you see his background screens, there's always some really crazy stuff there. So can't wait to go see his hotel in the side of the cliff. So excited to do. Rihanna and I met also last year through Global Gurus, and she's just a dynamo. She's someone that you can tell 100% heart-centered, all about giving back and making a difference. But it was so great to hear so many stories yesterday about how people have achieved what they've done and why they're at where they're at. And I invited a very good friend on today as someone that's outside the Guru group, but someone that's been wildly successful. He actually is a co-founder of a young company called Constant Contact. They sold a couple years ago just north of $1 billion, but he is really focused on startups and helping new businesses. So this should be a really great panel to give you some insight and some wisdom on what are they doing. And really, I don't call it pivoting, I call it innovating. And if you're not innovating today, you're dying, you're out of business. And I think yesterday we had so many great stories of what folks are doing differently, but more importantly about really this time is a great time to sharpen the axe and then be able to go out even bigger, stronger, more efficient, faster than you've ever done in the past. So Greg, I'll start with you. If you wouldn't mind and I gave a little bit of snapshot there, but if you could share a bit of your background and why you're in the business you're in. It's really important, a bit of your background, 1 minute, 1 or 2 minutes, but why you do exactly what you do, because this has become such an important measuring tool in terms of if people are going to engage with you, yes or no.
Well, I'll tell you, I realized when I was a little boy that I had a knack for negotiating. And that knack came about as a result of me literally shining shoes at the age of 4 years old. And I noticed if by chance I gave someone a little extra service, I got a larger tip, or if by chance someone came out of, well, I was shining shoes outside of a bar at that time, and it was safe for kids to do so. And if someone came out a little bit more happier than they were when they went in, I picked up on their body language. Now, I didn't know anything about what I was truly reading or doing at that particular point in time, but it allowed me to be able to connect better with people by being able to recognize the body language signals that they were emitting that told me how to best get along with them and to interact with them. And when it came to negotiations, as I grew into the field deeper of being a professional negotiator or master negotiator, I learned techniques and tactics that I now teach individuals around the world how they can acquire more of what they want based on how they position themselves, first of all, and then how they utilize different negotiation tactics and strategies in the negotiation based on with whom they're negotiating. That's how I came about my skill set. And why I do it is because I love to help people. And thus, the better people can negotiate, the better they'll be able to acquire whatever it is that they want. And thus, my motto is, you're always negotiating.
I love it. Rhiannon, go ahead.
Well, I've been, like I said yesterday, I've been blessed by many, many tragedies, and I think I'm a very precocious soul. So I've sort of said to universe, give me what you've got. I know I can handle it, which is like the dumbest thing you could ever say. So what it has allowed me is it's helped me create this massive toolkit for life, and I'm able to then use that and harness that and help other people to find their toolkit in the most extraordinary ways, because I'm a very out-of-the-box thinker. Because going down that rabbit hole with, pretty much nothing, I had to be super creative mentally. So mindset, subconscious powers, harnessing something that you don't ever even realize is in front of you is my absolute passion. And watching people transform their lives and their businesses, that's why I do it. I absolutely love it. I love transforming people's lives and businesses in extraordinary ways, in absolutely out-of-the-box thinking.
And you do it very well, so keep up that great work. Alex Stern, my good friend. Alex Stern, my good friend. Tell everyone a bit about who you are and what you do, and of course, why you're in the business you're in.
Sure, yeah. So I guess the tagline is a serial entrepreneur who likes cereal. I started 8 companies and 5 exits, 2 IPOs, 3 acquisitions. You mentioned Constant Contact. That's one most people know, but I guess I'm not a one-hit wonder. I've packaged up all those learnings and go out and now help someone start a business or scale it. And so just trying to raise the water level of startups and small businesses around the world. So.
Yeah.
And I know you love it, that's for sure.
Love it. Yeah.
Arthur, go ahead, brother.
Wow. Okay. So kind of gave you my general idea of why I started yesterday. But see, one of the things that I realized was that in some environments with a certain group of people, I was awesome. I was a good person. I was doing some amazing things. I was in the flow. I was creative. While in other groups of people, I was less than optimal, let's say. And so understanding that, there's why am I the same person, but in one group I am really great, in another group I'm not, that kind of led me to the research that ultimately became what is called directive communication psychology, which is the science of group dynamics, why people act and react to each other in groups. And so that, of course, leads to creating cultures. And from there, we went into gamification and how gamification applies different emotional elements to groups and cultures to essentially create environments that support people's awesomeness.
And you know what? Keep doing it, because it shows you're having a lot more fun and you get to help a lot of people. You might have a little feedback on your line, though, Arthur. So Arthur, you're getting some feedback from one of either you're connected 2 places on your mic. So maybe shut one of your mics off if you're on the Zoom. That could be a little challenge having there, because we're getting feedback only from you. So
I tried turning my mic off.
Well, either way, when you talk, we get feedback. So, Alec, this is a good question for you. What are 3 wisdom tips you would give today to wildly successful entrepreneurs? This group you're with today are mainly leadership executives, coaches. They've all won some award from Global Gurus to be in the top 30 of their niche, but for someone that has hired, individuals like this that are on this group call today in this award summit, what are some tips that you would give out right now to help them create even more success?
Yeah, and specific to the times that we're dealing with today, I think one of the first things I'd say is, I guess maybe if everyone can mute their mics. It's not, we got a lot of feedback. Maybe we just if we can get the Zooms to mute. So I'd say the first thing is really around this is the time to step back and focus on your business, not in the business. Like we're out of the tactics a bit, and we've got to really think about it strategically and see what we're doing to succeed. One thing I've learned in speaking to hundreds of businesses in the last several months is that I'll ask them, what's the goal? What's the vision? What's that 5-year thing you're aiming for? Are you on a path to get there today? And after, long discussion in some cases, half of them say no. So if we're not working on what we need to today to get us there, we're not visualizing how we're going to get there, we're not working on something today to get us there, we're not going to get there. And some admitted they're not on that path. And that path could be adjacent. You're on a lane in a highway, that path could be one lane to the left or right where that success lies. And I think the third thing I would say is that in talking to a lot of folks, there's almost the waiting game, but when we start back up, when we get going again, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. And one of the things they're leaving behind is their customers. And so this now more than ever, you should be spending more time with your customers. Everyone wants new business. They want new customers. Your best prospect is your current customer. And we need to be investing more in them today than we ever did before. And we have new ways to invest with them and build, you're leading the pack on how do you move what you do by day and what we've been doing going around speaking in person to now doing it virtually. My record is 4 summits at once. I always said I wish I could be in more places than one. And well, guess what? Virtually, you could do a heck of a lot more than you could before. So I would just say your customers must be, you got to show them the love, delight them, and create a wow moment now more than ever. You're on mute.
You're muted, Bill.
Bill.
You got to unmute, Bill.
Working on it. Greg, go ahead.
Well, one of the things that I tell clients now is the fact that they truly are in a strong position to negotiate if they have the resources to do so. And what I mean by that is now we are in troubling times in which, and I never suggest you take advantage of people, but some people are more motivated to actually negotiate now. And thus, if you have resources that you can use to extend an offer that you probably could have waited for, now might be a good time to do just that. The other thing I tell them is, since we are in a virtual environment, you truly need to be able to read body language more accurately. Because if someone poses a question and all of a sudden someone just momentarily looks away, there could be so much additional information in that momentary look away or pause that can convey a sense of what that person is truly thinking versus what it is that he or she may say. And thus, by being able to read body language more accurately, you can enhance your negotiation process. Now, let's talk about some of the negotiation steps that you can engage in also. First of all, before you negotiate, and everybody on the call more than likely knows this, you need to have a plan. Not only do you need to have a plan, you need to have a plan that encompasses what types of activities you might engage in if your initial plan somehow or another meets roadblocks. How are you going to get around a particular situation to get back on track? What type of individual are you negotiating with? What are their additional resources that they might call on? How might they use leverage? All of those are thoughts that I'm instilling in those that I teach how to become a better negotiator, such that they are prepared to encounter new situations in the environment that we're in today that will allow them to maximize whatever type of negotiation they're in.
Awesome. Arthur, what do you got, buddy?
Well, all right. So, I mean, if you're going to do something, do something different, right? I mean, at the end of the day, one of the one of the things that has helped us in this situation was we gave away organizational culture consulting. We had a campaign where we're giving away $1 million worth of organizational culture consulting. Why? Because people essentially were freaked out, they're unsure, and what the promise was is that we would be able to help people come up with a strategy in order to essentially build those people to be kind of connected to what was possible in their organizational culture. And of course, we've got the tools that automate this, and we also have on the financial side. Okay, we have a program that creates an online program where we certify organizational culture consultants. So what we were doing is getting these people over here and matching them with the different companies, so that the companies now can get this culture consulting, which again is done mostly by the tools, so they're not spending that much time. But then when the companies want to actually implement it, they would go to these people who were doing the initial culture consulting element, and then they would also get so the consultants would win, the companies would win, and of course we also took a small percentage of that as well. So you by creating an ecosystem where you're basically doing something good, helping people, and at the same time doing something that is a little out of the ordinary, you can come up with all kinds of crazy stuff that make good things happen.
Love it. Rihanna, go ahead.
So what I want to really strip it back, and the way I see it is the most important thing is, what is the lens that you are seeing this situation through? So for example, if your lens is this glass of water is half empty, well then what you're seeing is half empty. If your lens is this glass of water is half full, then you will see opportunity. Like, in the last century, some of the greatest number of millionaires came out of the Great Depression because they were forced to find the opportunity. So there's massive opportunity here if we can move past the fear and look through a different lens. So I want to give you a really quick example. I worked with a broke farmer. They were $6 million in debt. So the bank was actually taking back their property, their family property that had been in their family for 150 years. So they were like, and this is how they language. They language, oh my God, we've got so much debt. You don't understand. The bank's taking back the property. I've got so many bills to pay. Like, this went on and on and on for a couple of hours. And I said to them, do you have any children? And they go, yeah. And I said, well, you've never mentioned your children. So their only focus was their debt, just debt. So if that's all they see, that's all they get. So what happened was they had an expense on their profit and loss, which was $20,000 a month, and they couldn't pay it. So what they had was these backpackers that rolled out fencing, $20 an hour for, these sheep are smart, right? They can get out. So they had backpackers roll out $20 an hour fencing continuously for a $20,000 expense every single month. Now, they couldn't afford that. And when I'm doing seminars on stage, I always ask everyone, what do you do with an expense like that you can't afford? And everyone says to me, they go, mechanize it, because you take away the labor costs, you mechanize it, you don't have the cost. Well, how about this? This is a shift on the lens. This is how you see it. This is my glass is half full. What if you make the backpackers pay you? So how do you make the backpackers pay you? Well, you turn it into a school, a learn how to fence school, where you give them a certificate, a 2-year work visa, a job placement, room and board. And it's not now that you're making 20 grand a month, you're making 40 grand a month because you were losing 20 grand a month. What is the lens that you're looking through to see the corona situation, the environment, the economy? How are you seeing it? If you're seeing it's half empty, well, it is. If you're seeing it's half full, go get them, Tiger. There's massive opportunity right now. What are you seeing? And you've got all these experts who can help you find a way. Where is the path? There'll be a great transfer of wealth in the next 2 years. Are you going to jump on board because you created something that solved a problem in our society right now that other people can't see? Or are you going to fall to the wayside?
Rihanna, don't you think that's happening now? I mean, give you an example. They just posted today, Apple in 33 years had a market value of $350 billion. 7 years later, market cap of $1 trillion by 2018, Today, 2020, market cap of $2 trillion.
Yes,
So
see? Exactly.
You can tell me how bad things are, but I'm telling you, there are a lot of people right now, and I'll tell you
You're
that.
blowing away.
Yeah, so the lens you're looking through certainly is going to dictate the way that you see the glass half full or half empty. And what we've been focused on is 3 real key drivers. Number one, adapt. It is what it is, right? It's here, and if, now that it's here, stay calm. Get the best coach you can ever get. Right now is the best time to invest in great people. There is a overwhelm of some great people around there. Number two is innovate. All this new technology that's available, whether it's setting up your podcast on Anchor, it's using InShot for your video distribution and using all your social media. It's being able to leverage list building like you've never seen before. Being able to grow lists from 0 to 10,000 in less than 60, 90 days of real opt-ins of real people. And then, of course, execute like a rock star. Without all the travel, I was speaking 200 times a year at live events, either our own or somebody else's. But today, like you said, you can create one really good recording. You can run all your ad campaigns inside the recording, put them inside your membership sites today. Because the true wealth is going to come through these active communities. Every unicorn you've seen is all active communities. So everyone that's here today, think about how big is your list? How are you cultivating it? What are you bringing back to the list day in and day out? Have you launched a free membership site yet? Because if you're not doing these things right now, you'll probably never get them done. Because we know as road warriors, right, we run into that time constraint. It kills a lot of our want to do or plan to do things. One other question I've got for everybody, which is really critically important too, and I'll start with you, Rhiannon. Just keep it about 1 minute, maybe a minute and a half. Is that?
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. What are you doing right now to really stay wildly productive? Because it's times like these that it's so easy to get, Netflix mania going on or something else going on that distracts you. What are you doing to stay wildly productive today?
Well, interesting question, actually, Bill. And personally, what I'm doing is I've got some resistance in my business. So I've got a part of my business that I'm really resistant to. And I'm like, right, I'm going to dive into this resistance because my greatest learning must be in that. So I'm actually pushing myself in a place where I believe my greatest growth will occur once I move through that. So for me, it's actually I'm writing for like Forbes and Huffington Post and stuff like that. And honestly and truly, that's tedious stuff because they have a formula and blah, blah, blah. And I never wrote before. Like I wrote books, but I didn't write articles. So it's actually reaching the masses and helping them to see through that lens. Well, where's your opportunity? I must be in a minute now. So pushing through resistance, Bill.
Good. Alec?
Yeah, so there's quite a few things, but one thing I live by is staying in your lane. Now we have a little extra time. It's like we want to pick up stuff. Let me learn that. Let me spend the time to learn it and do it. Well, what's your time value doing what you do best? And don't spend it on that stuff. And so I've hired 3. I've now got 3 interns. And I've just dished out all the stuff that I would sure I could do it. Could I spend the time? It's not worth it to me. So I can focus on what my core stuff is and be able to deliver at that higher level and not absorb time into things that someone else can do for me.
It's good stuff. Arthur?
Well, for me, I mean, I've got this resort, right? So there's nobody staying at the resort. So it gives a really great opportunity to build and expand on it. And, we're creating this whole kind of Petra thing on a property we just got next door. And then internally on my business, I mean, we have right now over 550 licensed DC psychology consultants and trainers. And so what we're doing is we're enabling them to be more online productive. So that way, because, a lot of our income comes from the tools that they use with their clients. And so by helping them, of course, we're also helping us at the same time.
That's the thing is that you're talking about same thing, innovation. And one of the things I recommend all entrepreneurs do right now is utilize every government program that's out there. If they're giving away money at 3%, and you can use it to grow the business in the future, take it, because you're not going to see this again. So, and then, of course, investing in these power partnerships, finding people that really either have a big list that you can then share messaging with, or actually creating, great new deal flow. There's more new deal flow now than ever, and new opportunities now more than ever. Greg?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm writing my 8th book, number 1. Number 2, I've been doing more web events, virtual events per client request, and I'm doing more consulting work right now because, as I stated earlier, clients want to know how to position themselves even today for negotiations that they'll either enter into tomorrow or those that they have already entered into to gain advantages in the negotiation on their behalf. And for per that activity, one of the things that I have said is per Rhiannon's statement about half full or half empty glass, you really have to have the proper mindset when you're negotiating to see where there could be light and darkness. And if you possess that type of mindset, that type of thinking, you will be able to get out of more nebulous situations than you otherwise would be in. And those are some of the things that I'm literally engaged in with clients right now. Negotiate right now because you're always negotiating, which means how you position yourself today influences tomorrow's activities, and thus take advantage of the time you have now to improve tomorrow's outcomes.
I love it. Arthur, go ahead. We got you. We got everybody. Rhiannon, we got everybody this one already? Rhiannon, we got you.
Yeah, you already got me.
So let's switch gears for a second. This is always a great question for authors. During this time, is there a specific reading or audible you would recommend besides your own? I know we're all authors and coaches, right? But if there's specific reading or audible that you're listening today that maybe you didn't do before this, right? That's been really impactful for you that you'd love to share with the group. But guys, after this, we're going to do some really cool breakout sessions and work on a simple exercise that's about big goal for 90 days, big challenge, what help do you need from the group? And we'll do it a few times with the different groups over the next 20 minutes after this. So, but if you could share that, and Arthur, I'll just start with you. Go ahead.
Well, actually, I haven't been doing much of anything. I mean, other than the only reading that I've been doing is essentially rereading some of my older high school textbooks to help my son get some knowledge on physics and stuff like that. So I don't have anything to recommend.
That's okay. It is what it is. Rhiannon, go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to hold these ones up. Like this one, Biology of Belief, is honestly one of my favorites, Dr. Bruce Lipton. I've read it like 50 times. This guy is genius and about your mindset, about how your biology will change based on the beliefs that you have. I love this. This is a cracker. And this one, Jack Canfield's on our list. If you haven't read this one, this is the best. Success Principles, because where you are at now to get to where you want to go, he's got thousands of exercises in this. If you haven't read this, grab your hands. I know you can't fly, but you can certainly have a spa bath and read this in the bathroom. It's a cracker.
Go ahead. Greg?
Well, I'm rereading 48 Laws of Power. And the reason I say rereading it is because it's something that I constantly refer to from time to time. And I'll just flip a page over from time to time just to re-engage in the thought process of how I can not only make myself better as a negotiator, but at the same time, listen to some principles that really are embedded in success.
Alec?
Yeah, so I live by this, and so I've dusted off and reread the Start With Why by Simon Sinek. I'm a firm believer that that bullseye on the dartboard is your why, and not the how and the what. And I talk to folks every day, and they keep wanting to tell me the speeds and feeds and how they're tackling something versus the why. And it's so important, and it's just for me, it's just recentered myself on the concept again.
Yeah, and so much of this is reinvention, right? Is that what's going to come next? And not that anybody has a crystal ball, that's for sure. But I will tell you that I do believe the next 2 to 3 years will be one of the greatest times for opportunities. Greg talked about the fact that your ability to effectively negotiate, we teach the quality of your communication will dictate the quality of your life and your relationships and your bank account. And I do think this is an important time. And so if there was, I guess, a wisdom tip that you've taken away from this time, from this 5 months? If there was a couple of wisdom tips you've taken away that you would love to bestow on the group to tell them really a couple of things that maybe you didn't really expect, right? But they've come out of this, because sometimes when you're faced with a challenge, many times your greatest innovation might just shine through. So Greg, what are a couple of things that you would love to share that you would say, because of all these challenges, these are new things that really have opened up that maybe other people just haven't seen yet in their business, in their current structure?
Well, first of all, it goes right back to the mindset that we've been talking about all along, because I was supposed to have been on all kinds of speaking tours prior to COVID. And initially, truth be known, my mindset went into one of the, oh crap type of things. Now what? And by having more of a positive mindset, instead of focusing on what I thought I had lost and realized, I said I thought I had lost because that was the world that I was shaping my paradigm into, I took the approach of, well, wait a minute, how might I be able to help more people in the times that we're in? And as Alex said a moment ago, in so doing, have that goodness come back to me. If it does, if it doesn't, so be it. I put more knowledge out into the world. And by doing that, I believe that's exactly how my business has grown much faster, even though we're in what I term challenging times. And challenging times are nothing more than times presented to you that allow you to become a challenger that becomes a lot better, from my point of view.
Love it. Rihanna?
Well, I can actually say the Corona and the economy challenge, it's been a real challenge for me, because I got all my business through traveling, keynote speaking, all of the events. I was always on a plane. So I haven't been on a plane since December. So I can honestly say I lost 90% of my business. So my first focus, so I have been looking through that lens. And my first focus is, okay, how can I reinvent myself? How can I use this as an opportunity to catapult my business, to give me more time? So the good things that have come out of it is I don't drive all the time now. I'm not always on a plane. I get to do more yoga. I get to play more with my son. So how can I catapult that for greater success? So that's what I'm looking at, is a total reinvention, which actually could give me more happiness. So how lucky are we to have something that kicks us up the rear end that says, hey, you need to do it differently. And I, by reinvention, I get to understand more about the skill set that I have. So we all have this opportunity now. So it's actually real for me, Bill. It's real.
I love it. Arthur?
Well, for me, I guess one of the the additional opportunities, because we've done a lot of online programs already, but because the opportunity I found was through the Global Trainers Federation. I got I got a chance to do their online trainer certification, which that also kind of led me to do some more research, which helped me to come up with some more licensing models that could be applied to a whole bunch of other things, which, it goes back to coming up with any opportunity that you find. If you start to try to think, how can I do it like other people aren't doing it? You come up with some cool ideas. And so for us, it's been quite a good opportunity, because it's also led to helping people to create their own online programs, and then again taking a percentage of that and everything. So it's been a good time.
Very cool. Alec?
Yeah, so I actually wrote an article that was just published on, we all focused on social distancing and physical distancing, and I'm talking about how we should focus on long distancing. And so I've gone deep into the Rolodex and the phone and dusted off some people I haven't talked to back to high school, back to college, back to teachers, mentors, people I used to work with, past investors, led with value to find out what they're doing and how I can help. And then they turn around and want to ask me, and I've collaborated with a handful so far on some of the new companies that I'm involved with to create bigger opportunity, greater opportunity than I had before. And I think, it was really just centering myself around getting back to that long distance network that I sort of left behind. And I knew they were always there, and they're in my phone and, in my inbox, but just wasn't touching in. And now I am.
Yeah. And I think these are all, hopefully everyone that's listening to this, you've gotten some good value from the panel, some good ideas. We ran into this March 11th in Miami where we had a big event and the hotel went from 90% occupancy to 15. And I knew that day that we were in for a wild ride. And that day, as we sat at breakfast with Michael, that's been co-hosting, helping out with the technology for this event, that we had to go digital. And within 11 days, we moved from all these events. And I just called some friends like Mark Victor Hansen and Michael Gerber and, I don't know, Brian Tracy and different guys. And I said, Sharon Lecter, we're going to do a digital event. Would you like to be a part of a digital event, an all-day event, 12 hours? And everybody said yes. And we literally built the website and the story and had more than 2,000 people on one of our first digital events. And from that, we took the content and then allowed all the coaches to then serve those clients. And we just built revenue share models. So, you know, sometimes when this stuff happens, if you can move fast enough and get ahead of the curve, and from that now over 10,000 on a brand new list and a brand new club that we put out there for free, and with revenue shares with coaches and speakers and trainers, where they get to share some of their best stuff. We then take it, fix it, and put it out there. So what we found is that today, power partnerships are more important than ever. But now what's happened is the world has become so small. You know, now our business in Cyprus, our business in Romania, our business in Australia is going through some crazy growth that we would not have really focused on at all had we been in the entire live phase. So I do think that this has been a wake-up call, but I think in some parts of everyone's business, it might be a wake-up call for the better. We don't see the blessing in disguise right now. So, and the same thing, Ryan, you talked about more quality time. I bought an RV company because I started seeing all these people wanting to travel across the country. And one of the first trips, I've never done an RV trip ever, wanted to, took my son in an RV and we went to Moab and, you know, all these really crazy places in Zion Park in Utah. And so all of a sudden I thought I'd never do that before. And now we're in that business now, renting these things out. So there is a lot of opportunity in the craziness of what we've seen in the last, certainly in the last 5 months. So listen, panel, you guys have been fabulous today. Michael, we're going to bring it right back to the main screen. If you're on the Zoom, we'll jump on the Zoom. We'll disperse the panel here and go to the live Zoom. And then, of course, we want to get some breakout sessions going right away where you can actually do some good brainstorming. And that's really a brainstorming session about what is the big goal, what is the big challenge, what help you need from the group. And it's roughly about 3 minutes each person. So we try to keep it pretty quick inside those groups. We'll probably have in groups of 4 or 5, something like that. I think we're missing a number of the gurus today. I know some of these, the dates with being on the 19th and the 19th, it was a little confusing for people because it went from the 19th to the 20th. You know, the whole GMT thing was starting an hour before, starting an hour later. But in any case, for those that are here, we're really glad you took the time to be a part of it today. And I know for a fact that if you can walk away with a few good new connections and learn some new stuff and figure out some ways to serve each other, I believe this will be one of the most important sessions of the entire event. So let's give that panel a big round of applause. They deserve it, no doubt. Great job, everybody. And we'll come right back into the main Zoom at this point. And I'll stop the screen share. So we should be able to jump right back into where we're at and see if we can open up that box. We can actually have that conversation. Let's just see where that's at. There we go, Michael. How are you? So I know you guys are. I know everyone's back in the stream. Welcome, everybody. And Michael, if we could actually take. It looks like we've got about 18 participants out of the 40. So maybe we just do groups of 4. So we could probably open 4 rooms of 4. And the exercise is about 3 minutes each. And really, it's really about big goal for 90 days, big challenge. What help do you need from the group? And the more clear you are on the help you need from the group, the more powerful the exercise becomes. So with that, Michael, you can probably begin to split up the rooms. It's random, so you don't know who you're going to be in the room with. And you're all leaders, so I know you'll figure out to keep some times and make sure that we'll get a couple of these sessions in.
All right, fantastic. I'm ready to go. So as everybody can get rooms with Zoom, the minute I click the button, it's going to pop up. It's going to tell you what room to go to. If you have anything you need in the room, you can always reach me from the room. And Bill, timing on each room.
I would say if there's going to be 4 to a room, you're going to put 4 to a room. So
we got 1 room with 5, the way it breaks out.
Okay, so let's try to keep it at around right around 16 minutes, I think. 12.
You got it.
Even 15 minutes is good. Let's do the first one at 15 minutes.
All right, I'm going to time the room at 15 minutes, so everybody just let you know in 15 minutes. You'll get a countdown timer, and then it's going to shut the rooms down. We're good to go. Everybody ready?
Let's do it.
Go. Enjoy.
Okay.
Hey, Boris, my friend. Boris, you got to unmute yourself, buddy.
That sounds great. How are you, Bill? It's so good to see you again.
Yes, likewise. We can hear you there now. That's good. We got it. And then, is that Chip in the center?
I'm great. How are you, Boris?
Hey, Boris.
I'm actually traveling. There's 3 of us in this room. I thought there was going to be a few more, no?
Well, there might be one more. Sometimes I got to click the button. Sometimes if you're on mobile, you don't see the button. That's okay. So let's just start. This is a really fun exercise. So Chip, if you could talk about what's your big goal for the business in 90 days, what's the big challenge, and how can we help you as a group?
I can get real specific. This is my new book. Comes out in 2 weeks.
Awesome.
Inside your customer's imagination. And so how you can help.
Can you hold that up for a second again?
You
can't see it.
That is absolutely amazing. I love the title. Yeah. And subtitle is 5 Secrets for Creating Breakthrough Products, Services, and Solutions.
Okay, and what's your challenge?
Well, the challenge is obvious. The challenge is how do I get I write books to make a difference. I write books to impact people's lives. And I've had the good fortune of writing a bunch of them. And so the more people know about it, the more likely they're going to buy it.
So your challenge is marketing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the help you want from the group is marketing.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
That would be great.
And so, my advice obviously is that I'm glad to help. We have a big database, about 600,000 people that have either bought something from us or so it's a good size group that's been around. And if I could get some information about it, or if Rhiannon, you got to go back to the Zoom, guys.
Oh, how do you go back to the Zoom?
You got to go back to the Zoom, otherwise you're not going to be in the class.
Okay, hang on a sec.
You got to get out of here. This is over. Go back to the Zoom, and they'll put you in a class.